Hey, Jocelyn,
Hello.
I'm curious what you feel that you learned about yourself this season and reflecting on just the journey of getting to the finals for the first time.
Yeah. I would say I'm proud of myself for this season, adapting to a new role and still finding a way to bring value to the team, I feel like. And so I think I've learned that I can adapt to any situation. I feel like I've learned. I knew this about myself, but I've learned even more how to be a good teammate, and I think how to be in a winning situation. I think we've won in the past, but there's been a different level and standard of excellence and stuff, and so that's not something that I had the opportunity necessarily to experience. But just seeing what it takes and how to add, enhance, and contribute to that, I think I've learned and will take with me moving forward.
A big picture question. You know, obviously you have worked with the WNBPA and are certainly involved with that. I guess, what are the biggest things that you're thinking about league-wide that you'd want to see changed or reevaluated as the WNBA as a whole enters another offseason?
Yeah, I think, travel is always going to be a big picture item, and hopefully we'll continue to improve. For us in the playoffs, being able to charter, just a few opportunities that we had to charter, the conversation on the team is like, how good does this feel in terms of recovery, in terms of, not having as much stress. And so I think the experience and product overall will be better with travel. It's definitely going to be one of the big items. And then I think another is just, allowing all the talent to be able to stay in the league and develop in the league.
Hey, Jocelyn, good to see you. Two parts on this. One, just from a personal standpoint, what was the significance for you of being healthy through the season, being able to get through a season and develop in that way? And just related to that, how much does that health allow you to work on your game this offseason, and how are you doing it?
Yeah. Coming back from injuries is such a battle, and when you're healthy and then get injured again, it's like what is happening. And so to have a full healthy season is huge for me. I think this year was an opportunity to continue learning my body and figuring out the routines and things that will keep it primed and healthy. And so I'm excited. Now I'll be going to Australia really soon, and to be able to play more and keep my body healthy and all the preparation that I've done this season continuing, so I can, put it on the court and test it there.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Jocelyn.
Hi.
It's good to see you. You talked earlier in response to Doug, you talked about your understanding of your value to the team. Mm-hmm. I'm just curious if you can, or the things you brought to this team. I'm curious if you could expand upon that a little bit more, and I do have one more for you.
Okay. I think, I've always been proud of being professional, of being very even kill. And so I feel like that's something that the team has needed. I think, especially as we went into the finals run, there's a lot of emotion, a lot of highs and lows, really exciting moments, and really, moments where we just did not look like ourselves. And so for me, I think, continuing to be encouraging, continuing to try and be a voice of reason when things are going crazy, and reminding our team of like, we are capable of this. We've worked hard for this, along with other voices. But I feel like just being that even kill person, in terms of like coming in, working consistently, but also being a voice of reminding us who we are and what we are expected to do.
I really appreciate that. And also, I think you're going to be an unrestricted free agent for the first time. Mm-hmm. I'm curious how you look at managing that and how much you would like to be back here.
I mean, the New York has been great to me, and so it also has been and is my home in terms of the closest team to where I'm originally from. The organization is top tier, and so, I have a lot of love for the New York for, Liberty. But in terms of, there's a lot that's a little bit out of my control. And so for me, it's just continuing to develop and having a strong and healthy overseas season, and the cards will fall where they may. But I would love to be with the Liberty, but we'll see what God has in plan for me.
Hey, Jocelyn, I think earlier in your statements, you said something akin to maybe learning how to win or kind of figuring out what that looks like at this level. There's something that you sometimes hear athletes say, that there's a difference between learning or playing to win and playing not to lose. When you think about the ups and downs that this New York Liberty team had throughout the entire season, the finals included, what does that look like, and what did it feel like for you with the Liberty this year? The difference between playing to win and not to lose.
Yeah, that's a really good question. I don't know if I have a great answer for it, but I think part of it is just having the confidence and belief that you're going to get the outcome that you've worked for and that you believe in, right? And so I think in moments where we weren't playing ourselves, we lost sight of like what we are capable of, and just I got a little chaotic. But I think overall, playing to win, it comes from your preparation. And I think that's ultimately been one of the key things of, some of my teammates, seeing how they prepare day in and out, day out, but also as a team together. I think we took that to another level this year.
And following up on that, Sandy spoke to us a little bit earlier, and as well as Jonathan. And you played a role where you were coming off of the bench, injecting some energy and specific, points to infuse what was happening on the court. When you think about that again holistically and some of the things that you just said, what are the ways that you want to continue to refine your game and what you bring to a team so that you are doing that and it's always coming from that, play to the preparation, play to win mindset?
Yeah. This season I was very proud of the fact that, my coaches trusted me in certain moments and that I was able to stay ready for those opportunities. I think, coming up for the off season and looking to future seasons, it's just a matter of being more confident, being a little bit more versatile, and, expanding my game and skill set on court. I feel like just being in the Liberty organization this year, I've learned so much from the IQ standpoint. And so now having the opportunity to play more and put into practice, I'm excited for the future, putting it all together. Thank you.
Hi, Jocelyn. Good morning. Thank you for being here. You're one of the leftovers from the 2020 draft class, the 2020 team that fielded, 6 or 7 rookies on a court at a time, basically. And, many have come and gone. You and Sabrina are left here. Obviously, it was no definition of them. They were traded. Their talents were used to brought in other talents here. But at the same time, what did it mean to have the trust of this organization? And how did you see that trust build throughout the season, that you were trusted, along with Sabrina, to stick around for the long term and be a part of the high expectations, the high caliber, high octane basketball that the Liberty wanted to play this year? What did it mean to have that trust, and how did you see it grow?
I mean, it's important to have the trust of any organization you're a part of. And I think it's also understanding that trust is earned, right? It's not just naturally given. And so I feel like I earned it over the years in terms of the person I've been, in terms of the teammate I've been, the player I've been, and the professional I've been, how I've put in the work. And so it's always nice to have that noticed, appreciated, and valued in terms of being able to stay and be a part of an organization. And I think in terms of how it's grown, again, that's something that's earned as your individual role changes and you adapt to that. And so I think for me, being able to stay ready, to continuing to put in the work and just, be who I've been, I think that's allowed the coaches to continue to trust me more. And in turn, I've committed a lot to this organization and I trust them as well, so it's mutual, I would say.
Appreciate your time and insight. Thank you.
Hey, Jess.
Hey.
As you said, you're going back to the WNBL this offseason, though with a new team there. How much prep have you done? I know you really haven't had much time, but do you also have areas of focus either for yourself or from this Liberty staff or from that team that you're looking to kind of build on in your game this coming season there?
Yeah, for me, I've been so focused on this season, and I told myself if I'm looking ahead to the next season, then that means I'm not really here and I'm giving up on this one, which is not me at all. So I've been, 10 toes down, all in here. And I think over the next couple of days, I'll take some more time to really reflect on this season and also, reflect for the next one in terms of what are my goals, and create a plan for myself. I'm very goal oriented, and so thinking of what are the things I want to accomplish, and what's going to be my plan to get there. I'll need to sit more with that.
Hi, Jocelyn. A theme today so far has been the closeness of this team. How would you describe the way in which your friendships with Kayla, Niara, and Jonquel materialized, and how much did that group mean to you this year off the court?
Yeah, they mean so much. And I think this year was different in terms of our closeness and how much we just bonded. And so they're a group that we're going to keep in touch in this off season and continue to be there for each other and encourage each other, because you have the basketball piece, but so much of the things that stick with you are the people and the memories and the travel on the road, or the highs or lows in games, just the fun moments. And so the relationships are everything, and for us it just happened pretty naturally. And so I'm so grateful for that. And this year, the season wouldn't have been the same without them.
Hey, Jazz, could you expand a little bit more on that basketball IQ that was circulating throughout the Liberty roster this season?
Yeah, man, we just have so many players who've been there, who've done it, right? And so that doesn't happen by accident. And along their journeys and along their way, they've learned certain tips and tricks and things to really exploit the defense and what they want to do. And then, on the flip side, how to make other teams uncomfortable. And so I think there have been so many times, and even more than in previous years, you see players off to the side talking about, okay, well, this is happening, and, this is how I feel, this is how I think we can adapt and adjust. And it's like, yeah, we have coaches too who's, they do that as their job. But when you have players constantly talking about it, you can learn from that. And so I think from that piece, seeing how they think the game, that's helped me to be able to understand and think the game more for myself. And so I'm really excited to just take all that they've poured in and learn from their experience, and add it to my own.
Great. Thanks, Jocelyn. Brianna will be up next.
Thank you all.